You spend years chanting affirmations, visualizing success, filling journals with desires. Yet reality stays stubbornly unchanged, reflecting back the same struggles you're desperately trying to escape. There's a hidden energetic axis in your body that ancient mystics knew about. 3 sacred centers that, when aligned, transform you from someone begging reality to change into someone who commands it through pure presence. Are you ready to stop pleading with the universe and finally activate your inner power? You can spend years, even a lifetime, chanting affirmations until your voice is raw, visualizing a future so vividly you can almost taste it. You can fill journals with desires and build intricate mental castles of success. Yet you look up from this intense labor of the mind only to find that reality, stubborn and unmoved, reflects back the very circumstances you are trying so desperately to change. The frustration is a familiar ache, a quiet disillusionment that settles deep in your bones. Why does the world outside refuse to listen to the powerful commands of your inner world? It feels as if you are trying to tune a vast and complex orchestra by focusing on a single solitary violin. You polish it, tighten its strings, and play it with perfect intention. But the thunder of the dissonant drums and the mournful horns of the brass section drown out your singular effort. The beautiful note you are creating is lost in the noise. This is the hidden barrier, the silent reason why so much effort at manifestation collapses into dust. The secret is not in thinking harder, wanting more, or visualizing with greater clarity. True creative power does not originate in the mind alone. It is a resonance, a vibration that must emanate from the very core of your being. Your body is the instrument, the great orchestra itself, and its deepest codes of creation await their conductor. They are not activated by thought, but by presence. They are awakened not by willpower, but by alignment. There is a forgotten, vertical axis of power that runs through you, an energetic channel linking 3 sacred centers of intelligence. At the base of your spine, in the ancient cradle of the sacrum, lies the raw, instinctual energy of life itself. It is the power of pure potential, the frequency of physical creation. Far above, in the center of your chest, beats the heart, the seat of profound emotion and magnetic coherence, the bridge between worlds. And at the very top, nestled deep within the brain, the pineal gland acts as a cosmic antenna, a lens for higher vision and intuition. When these 3 centers are disconnected, you are a house divided. Your vision has no anchor, your heart has no clear signal to amplify, and your instinctual energy has no direction. Your inner field is in a state of chaos, broadcasting a contradictory frequency into the universe. Reality, which is nothing more than a perfect mirror to your dominant vibration, can only reflect that inner static back to you. Imagine a woman, exhausted from the endless cycle of hope and disappointment. She has read every book, attended every seminar. Her walls are covered in images of the life she craves. Yet each morning, she wakes to the same hollow feeling of being out of sync, a subtle but persistent hum of internal misalignment. One evening, in a moment of quiet surrender, she stops striding. She stops reaching outside of herself for an answer and simply listens to the silence within. And in that silence, she feels it for the first time. Not a thought, but a faint, pulsing connection. A thread of warmth rising from the base of her being, moving toward her heart. It is a quiet revelation, a truth that lands with the undeniable weight of ancient memory. The map was never in the books. It was written into her own anatomy. This is the promise that has been sleeping within you. The key to unlocking your ability to shape your world is not a new technique to learn, but an ancient axis to reactivate. When the sacrum, the heart, and the pineal gland align and fire in perfect coherence, your entire being transforms from a collection of separate parts into a singular, powerful broadcasting tower of creation. Your energy field clarifies. Your vibration becomes a clean, unmistakable signal. This is the moment you cease pleading with reality and begin to command it through the silent, undeniable power of your own integrated presence. The realization lands, validating every past frustration not as a failure, but as a symptom of a simple, profound disconnection. And now, the urgent question awakens. How do you awaken this dormant power? How do you bring this sacred axis back online? The process begins not with an act of will, but with an act of deep listening. To bring this sacred axis online, you must first understand the unique note each center plays in the symphony of your being. This is not a mental exercise. It is a journey of embodied remembrance, a return to the native language of your own life force. The journey begins not by reaching up into the ethers for inspiration, but by grounding down into the dense, rich reality of your own body. At the base of your spine, nestled in the powerful cradle of the sacrum, is the first center. This is the bedrock of your reality, the anchor of your physical presence. Its energy is not subtle. It is primal, instinctual, and profound. It is the steady, quiet hum of life itself, the raw, untamed power that animates your cells and governs the deep, automatic wisdom of your physical form. When this center is active and aligned, you feel rooted, secure, and present in the world. Your energy has a foundation. You are not a ghost floating through life, trapped in your thoughts. You are here, now, embodied. This is the frequency of pure presence, the fundamental vibration that declares to the universe, I am. Without this anchor, any vision you hold is merely a daydream, unmoored and powerless. From this grounded foundation, the energy awakens and begins its ascent, seeking the great amplifier, the heart. Your heart center is the bridge between the physical and the non-physical, the alchemical chamber where raw life force is infused with the power of emotion. Its electromagnetic field, vast and intelligent, translates the simple energy of being into the magnetic language of feeling. It takes the sacrum's declaration of I am and gives it a quality, a texture, a song. Is it the song of gratitude, of love, of abundance? The heart does not judge. It simply amplifies whatever emotional signature you hold. When this center is coherent, it broadcasts a clear, powerful, and magnetic signal, drawing to you experiences that match its frequency. A misaligned heart, however, filled with doubt, fear, or resentment, takes that pure instinctual energy from below and scrambles it into static, broadcasting a chaotic and contradictory message out into the field. Once the signal is grounded in the sacrum and amplified with coherent emotion by the heart, it continues its journey upward to the final center of this sacred trinity, the pineal gland. Deep in the center of your brain, this crystalline structure acts as a cosmic antenna, the lens of the soul. It is your faculty of higher vision, your portal to intuition and insight. It receives the clear, heart-fueled energy from below and translates it into a blueprint, a clear image, an illuminated path. It gives form to the formless and direction to the powerful current you have generated. This is where your intention gains its ultimate clarity. Without the potent, aligned energy from the sacrum and heart, the pineal's visions remain faint and fleeting. But when the current running along this axis is strong and clear, your vision becomes undeniable, a potent command that reality begins to organize itself around. Do you see the perfection of this inner design? The sacrum provides the raw power. The heart provides the magnetic feeling. The pineal provides the clear form. Power, feeling, and form. When these three are misaligned, your frequency fragments. You have a vision with no power, a heart with no direction, or a raw energy with no blueprint. Reality, in its perfect wisdom, can only reflect this inner incoherence back to you as struggle and resistance. But when you achieve coherence among these points, a profound transformation occurs. They cease to be separate centers and fire as one. Your entire being becomes a unified field, a singular resonant chord that vibrates through every cell. This is the moment your body, not just your mind, becomes the instrument of creation. The feeling floods you, a surge of recognition, a deep cellular yes. The endless mental striving was a detour. The true path was always here, dormant, written into your own sacred anatomy. The frustration of the past melts away, replaced by a deep and urgent desire to finally harmonize these centers and awaken the sovereign creator within. This path you are now embarking on is not new. It is an ancient road, worn smooth by the footsteps of mystics, sages, and seers across millennia. The urgent desire you feel to awaken this inner axis is not just your own. It is the echo of a timeless human quest for wholeness. To truly understand the power you are about to reclaim, you must first recognize it as a forgotten inheritance, a sacred science woven into the very fabric of our oldest wisdom traditions. Journey back in your own cellular memory to the sun-scorched lands of ancient Egypt. See the great pyramids reaching for the heavens, monuments not just to pharaohs, but to a profound understanding of energy and consciousness. The mystics who walked the temples along the Nile knew the body was a map of the cosmos. They held a deep reverence for the base of the spine, for the bone we still call the sacrum, the sacred bone. They understood this was not merely a structural anchor, but the very seat of generative power, the source of the raw, primal life force that pulsed through all of creation. For them, any spiritual ascent, any attempt to connect with the divine, had to begin here, grounded in the potent, creative energy of the earth itself. It was the foundation upon which all reality was built. From there, travel across the sea to the crucible of Hermetic wisdom, where Greek, Egyptian, and Persian thought collided. In these traditions, the heart was revered as the sun within the human system, the central star around which everything else revolved. They taught that the heart was the great alchemical bridge, the chamber where the raw, instinctual energy from below was infused with the fire of feeling and transformed into a magnetic force that could resonate with the universal field. As above, so below. The heart was the meeting point, the organ of coherence that aligned the inner world of man with the outer world of the cosmos. To them, a life lived out of alignment with the heart was a life of chaos, its signal lost in static. Now feel your awareness drift eastward into the quiet serenity of the Taoist sages. In misty mountains and silent monasteries, they mapped the subtle energy body with meticulous precision. Deep within the center of the head, they located what they called the crystal palace, the original cavity of the spirit. This sacred center, which we now identify with the pineal gland, was seen as the gateway to higher sight, the organ of true vision. It was the third eye through which one could perceive the subtle currents of the universe and receive clear intuition. Through dedicated practice and presence, they learned to open this channel, allowing the refined energy that had risen from the body and the heart to blossom into illuminated insight, giving form and direction to their intention. Do you feel the resonance? The Egyptians, the Hermetics, the Taoists, separated by geography and centuries, yet all pointing to the same truth. They were not describing different systems. They were painting different parts of the same sacred map. The sacrum as the seat of power, the heart as the bridge of magnetic feeling, the pineal as the lens of clear vision. Each culture understood that to consciously shape one's reality, these three centers had to be awakened and brought into a unified, coherent flow. This is your lineage. The knowledge you seek is not a modern invention. It is an ancient art, a birthright waiting to be reclaimed. You stand in a long line of seekers who understood that true creation is not an act of mental gymnastics, but a symphony of embodied presence. The frustration you once felt was the hollow ache of a forgotten memory, the longing of this sacred axis within you to be remembered and reactivated. A profound sense of reverence begins to stir, replacing the old struggle with a quiet, powerful determination. The path forward is no longer a matter of hope, but of practice. You are not learning something new. You are simply coming home. This ancient map, drawn in the sands of Egypt and inked on the scrolls of Taoist masters, is now being rediscovered. Not in forgotten tombs, but in the clean, bright light of modern laboratories and through the precise language of science. While our current tools may not yet measure the soul, they are beginning to trace the edges of its profound influence on our physical form. This convergence of ancient wisdom and modern discovery provides a powerful new layer of trust, grounding this sacred journey not just in faith, but in a resonant, observable reality. Consider the base of this axis, the sacrum. For millennia, sages have pointed to this region as the seat of our grounding, the anchor of our life force. Today, neuroscience is beginning to paint a complementary picture. It speaks of our autonomic nervous system, the body's master control system, which has a powerful branch rooted in the sacral nerves. This is the parasympathetic system, the network that governs our states of rest, healing, and regeneration. When you are calm and present, when you feel safe in your body, it is this system that is dominant. It is the biological command for safety and stability. This aligns perfectly with the ancient teaching. To activate your creative power, you must first signal to your body that you are safe, that you are grounded. The primal energy of the sacrum is not a metaphor. It is a measurable neurological state that shifts your entire being from the frequency of survival to the frequency of creation. From this grounded foundation, we look to the heart. The Hermetics called it the sun within. Modern science is discovering a truth just as profound. Researchers at institutes like HeartMath have demonstrated that the heart generates the body's most powerful and extensive electromagnetic field, reaching several feet out from your physical form. This field is not static. It changes its frequency and coherence in direct response to your emotions. Feelings of appreciation, compassion, and gratitude create a smooth, orderly, and coherent wave pattern. In contrast, feelings of frustration, fear, and anxiety produce a chaotic, disordered, and incoherent signal. Do you see the echo of ancient wisdom here? The heart truly is the great amplifier. It takes the calm, grounded energy from the sacrum and translates it into a clear, magnetic signature, a coherent frequency broadcast into the quantum field. Science is showing us that the quality of your vibration is not an abstract concept. It is a measurable electromagnetic reality. Finally, the signal rises to the pineal gland, the crystal palace of the Taoists. Biologically, this tiny pinnacle-shaped gland is known for its role as a master regulator of our circadian rhythms. Its primary function is to interpret light signals from the environment and produce hormones, like melatonin, that govern our cycles of sleep and wakefulness. It attunes our entire biology to the great cycles of the planet. But its unique crystalline structure and sensitivity have long intrigued those who study consciousness. It acts as a biological transducer, converting energetic and light-based information into neurochemical signals. This mirrors the ancient view of it as a third eye, a lens for non-physical sight. When the coherent energy from the heart reaches this sensitive antenna, it provides a powerful, stabilized current. This may be what allows the pineal's function to transcend the purely biological, opening a channel to receive the subtle blueprints of intuition and giving your intention its final, illuminated form. These parallels are not offered as rigid proof, but as powerful resonance. Science is not validating mysticism. It is simply arriving at the same shoreline from a different direction. The sacral nerves grounding the stress response, the heart's coherent field broadcasting emotion, the pineal gland translating cycles of light into biological commands. These are the scientific verses in a poem written long ago. This understanding lands with a profound weight. The path to awakening this axis is not blind faith. It is an embodied science, a practice rooted in the very design of your being. A new confidence begins to burn within you, clear and bright. The frustration of the past was not a personal failure, but a misunderstanding of the instrument. Now you hold the schematics. You see how the ancient map and the modern blueprint align. You are ready to stop just reading the map and finally begin the practice of awakening this dormant power. The time for theory is over. The time for practice has come. Find a place where you can be undisturbed for a few moments. Sit comfortably, either in a chair with your feet flat on the floor or cross-legged on a cushion. The only requirement is that your spine can be long and upright, not rigid, but awake and alert. Gently close your eyes. For a moment, do nothing at all. Simply arrive here, in this body, in this breath. Let the noise of the world outside recede and allow the quiet landscape of your inner world to come into focus. Begin with your breath. Take a slow, deep inhalation, drawing the air down into the lowest part of your belly. Feel it expand. Then, with a long, complete exhalation, release it all. Do this again. With each breath, you are not just trading air. You are signaling to your nervous system that you are safe. You are shifting from the scattered energy of the mind into the deep, unified rhythm of the body. This is the first step toward presence. Now, bring one hand to your lower back and place it flat against the triangular bone at the base of your spine. This is your sacrum. Feel the warmth of your palm making contact, a gentle pressure that brings your full awareness to this powerful anchor. Breathe into this space. With your mind's eye, feel the weight and density here. This is the foundation of your physical self, the root of your energetic system. Sense into it not as an idea, but as a direct feeling, a subtle, grounding vibration, a quiet hum of pure, instinctual energy. There is no need to force anything. Simply feel its solid, unwavering presence. This is the bedrock of your power, the fundamental note that says to the universe, I am here. Keeping your awareness at this base, bring your other hand to the center of your chest, over your heart. Feel the contact of your hand on your skin. Underneath it, sense the vast, intelligent space of your heart center. As you continue to breathe, let a feeling of gratitude or simple appreciation arise within you. It need not be for anything specific. It can be the simple gratitude for this breath, for this moment of quiet. Feel that emotion begin to blossom in your chest like a warm, radiating light. Notice how this feeling changes the quality of your energy. The dense, stable power from your sacrum now has a song, a magnetic signature. This is your heart broadcasting a coherent frequency, turning simple presence into a powerful, attractive field. From the radiant warmth of your heart, allow your awareness to float effortlessly upward, journeying up through your throat and into the very center of your head, to a point directly behind the space between your eyebrows. This is the seat of your third eye, your pineal gland. Do not strain to see anything. Simply rest your attention in this dark, quiet space. Imagine a single point of soft, violet light beginning to glow here, like a distant star awakening in the night sky. This is your center of higher vision, your antenna for intuition. It remains dormant when the signal from below is weak, but now it begins to stir, ready to receive the coherent, heart-infused energy rising to meet it. Now you will connect them. You will consciously activate the sacred axis. On your next inhalation, visualize or feel a stream of warm, vibrant energy rising from the base of your spine. See it ascend, a clear current of power. As it passes through your heart center, it absorbs that radiant, coherent glow of gratitude, becoming even more luminous. It continues its journey upward, a focused beam of light and feeling, until it arrives at the center of your head, illuminating the pineal gland. Hold your breath for a moment at the top, feeling all three centers lit up and connected. Then, as you exhale, feel that unified energy expand, creating a coherent field that encompasses your entire body and beyond. Breathe like this for several cycles. Inhaling, drawing the energy up the axis, from sacrum through heart to pineal. Exhaling, allowing the unified frequency to saturate every cell of your being. Then, let the visualization go. Let your hands rest gently in your lap. Simply sit and feel. A subtle shift has occurred. The inner static has quieted. The sense of being a collection of disparate parts has dissolved, replaced by a profound feeling of wholeness. It is a quiet hum of rightness, a deep cellular resonance that confirms you are in perfect alignment. This is the feeling of your own integrated power. This is the state for which reality is born. This state of integrated power you have just tasted is not a fleeting sensation meant only for moments of quiet meditation. It is a new way of being, a new foundation from which to live. To understand how this practice unfolds in a life, consider Elena. For years, Elena had been a warrior of the mind. Her apartment was a testament to her battle for a different reality. Books on manifestation were stacked high, their spines cracked from overuse. Her journal pages were filled with meticulously scripted desires, written in the present tense as she had been taught. She spent hours in deep visualization, trying to force a feeling of abundance while the ache of scarcity hummed in her bones. Yet, her life remained a stubborn echo of her fears, not her intentions. The fatigue was profound, not just of the body, but of the spirit. She felt a deep and painful misalignment, as if her soul was pulling in one direction, while her body, dense and anxious, was anchored to another. The inner noise was deafening. One rainy afternoon, the fight simply left her. She pushed the books aside, took down the vision board, and sat in the ensuing silence. There was no more effort left. In that emptiness, a new kind of listening became possible. She stumbled upon the idea of this inner axis, not as another technique to master, but as a path of surrender. It was a call to stop shouting commands at the universe and to finally listen to the wisdom of her own body. Her practice began not with force, but with reverence. Each morning, instead of reaching for her journal of affirmations, she would simply sit. She would place one hand on her sacrum, feeling the solid, grounding presence of the bone beneath her palm. She would breathe into that deep anchor, not trying to activate a powerful energy, but simply to acknowledge the life that was already there. She was learning the frequency of presence. Then, she would move her other hand to her heart. She didn't try to manufacture a feeling of ecstatic joy. Instead, she would simply thank her heart for beating, a quiet ripple of gratitude for the simple fact of being alive. She felt the subtle shift as the dense energy from her sacrum was met with this soft, coherent feeling. Finally, she would rest her awareness in the center of her head, allowing that gentle, unified current to rise and awaken her inner sight. There was no lightning strike, no sudden windfall. The first change was internal. The frantic noise in her head began to quiet. The persistent hum of anxiety started to fade, replaced by a deep sense of rightness, of being at home in her own skin. She was no longer at war with her body. She was in partnership with it. The struggle to control reality was replaced by a deep trust in the unfolding of her life. She had stopped trying to steer the river and had learned to become the current. Then, the world outside began to respond. A difficult project at work that had been a source of immense stress suddenly resolved itself with an unexpected ease. A conversation she had been dreading with a family member unfolded with compassion and understanding. She started noticing small synchronicities, thinking of an old friend just before they called, finding the perfect book at the exact right moment. These were not grand miracles, but they were undeniable. They were the gentle reflections of a new inner coherence. Her reality was beginning to mirror the quiet alignment she was cultivating within her own sacred axis. Her energy field, once broadcasting static, now sent out a clear, resonant signal, and the universe, in its perfect wisdom, began to send that clarity back to her. Elena's journey is not just a story. It is a map of a possibility that lives within you. Her awakening from the dream of struggle into the reality of embodied presence is the promise of this practice. As the story of Elena settles within you, it kindles a powerful flame of recognition. The path feels clear, the inner map finally legible. In this initial surge of clarity, a profound sense of hope takes root. But as you step onto this path of practice, a familiar shadow falls across your resolve. It is the echo of the old world, the frantic hum of the striving mind, and it speaks with a single, urgent voice: impatience. You sit, you breathe, you connect the three sacred centers. You feel a momentary flicker of that deep cellular rightness. Then you open your eyes, and the world appears unchanged. The same bills, the same challenges, the same reflection in the mirror. And the mind begins its subtle, corrosive whisper. Is it working? When will it happen? Am I doing it right? This questioning is not innocent curiosity. It is the signature frequency of doubt, and it is the very force that can pull your entire axis back into misalignment. To expect an immediate seismic shift in your outer world after years of broadcasting an incoherent frequency is to misunderstand the nature of energy and the deep wisdom of your own body. Your being is not a switch to be flipped, but a vast and powerful vessel. For a lifetime, its momentum has been set in one direction, conditioned by old beliefs and unconscious emotional patterns. Each time you sit in practice, you are not forcing a sudden change of course. You are applying a steady hand to the rudder. The ship will turn, but it must do so with a grace and timing that honors its own immense weight. Your very cells, steeped in a certain vibration, must be given time to acclimate to this new, coherent frequency. Impatience is the act of leaving the helm to run frantically around the deck, demanding to know why the shore looks the same. In doing so, you abandon the one act that could actually steer you home. This demand for instant results pulls you straight out of the grounded presence of the sacrum and back into the tense, analytical mind. It short-circuits the compassionate, magnetic field of the heart. The practice ceases to be an act of embodied communion and becomes just another mental task to achieve, another technique to perfect. This is the old paradigm of struggle dressed in new spiritual language. It breaks the very coherence you are seeking to build. The antidote is a profound shift in your intention. The purpose of your practice is not to get something. The purpose of your practice is the practice. Each moment you spend consciously connecting the sacrum, heart, and pineal gland is the victory. Each breath that flows along that awakened axis is the result. You are not building toward a future reward. You are inhabiting the reality of alignment now. This is the work. And this work is cumulative. Trust that every time you sit, you are strengthening your field. You are adding weight to the new vibration, making the signal of coherence more powerful, more dominant, more constant. The initial changes may not be a sudden lottery win or a dramatic healing. They are far more intimate and profound. It is the moment you navigate a stressful situation with a newfound calm. It is the wave of unprompted gratitude you feel on an ordinary Tuesday. It is the quiet inner voice of intuition that speaks with new clarity. These are the first reflections of your emerging inner order. They are the undeniable proof that your field is changing, and as it changes, your reality has no choice but to follow. This understanding lands with a quiet force, transforming the very nature of your commitment. The frustration of impatience dissolves, replaced by a deep and patient persistence. You see that this journey to awaken your power is not a race, but a cultivation. You are not storming the gates of reality. You are tending the sacred garden of your own being. You do not dig up the seed each day to see if it is growing. You provide the water of your presence, the sunlight of your heart's coherence, and you trust in the inevitable, organic process of its awakening. Your practice becomes an act of devotion, a steady return to yourself, knowing that each moment of alignment is weaving a new world into being. This patient cultivation is not a burden. It is the art of weaving this sacred alignment into the very fabric of your days. The state of integrated power you have touched is your natural state, and the path forward is one of making it your home, not just a place you visit. The practice now evolves from a distinct exercise into a continuous, living reality. It begins with the dawn. Each morning, before the world outside lays its claim upon your attention, you return to the quiet temple of your own being. For just a few moments, you sit and re-establish the connection. You place a hand on your sacrum, not as a command, but as a greeting, reacquainting yourself with the deep, grounding presence at the base of your being. You feel its weight, its stability, its silent declaration of "I am here." From that anchor, you bring your awareness to your heart, inviting a simple feeling of appreciation to bloom in your chest. You are not forcing an emotion, but gently opening a channel. Finally, you allow that coherent, heart-infused energy to rise, a clean current awakening the quiet, knowing space in the center of your head. This morning ritual is your attunement. It is the act of setting the keynote for your entire day, consciously choosing the frequency from which you will create. But this power is not meant to be confined to your morning cushion. Its true magic is revealed when you learn to carry it with you, an unwavering flame in the winds of daily life. This is done through moments of conscious return, brief pauses that recalibrate your entire system. Waiting for a meeting to begin, standing in a line, or sitting in traffic, these are no longer moments of empty waiting, but potent opportunities to realign. For the length of a single, conscious breath, you can drop your awareness down into the base of your spine, feeling your connection to the earth. You can feel the quiet hum of your heart center. You can sense the open, receptive space of your pineal gland. It takes no more than 5 seconds, this subtle check-in, yet it is profoundly transformative. Each time you perform this micro-alignment, you are reinforcing the coherent signal. You are choosing, moment by moment, to broadcast the frequency of wholeness over the static of distraction, stress, or doubt. You are actively maintaining the integrity of your energetic field. This consistent focus is the key. Reality, the great mirror, does not respond to a fleeting wish made in a moment of meditation. It responds to your dominant, sustained vibration. By continually returning to this inner axis, you make coherence your dominant frequency. Manifestation ceases to be an effortful act of getting something and becomes a natural, effortless unfolding, the graceful consequence of the vibration you have chosen to consistently embody. Slowly, imperceptibly at first, a profound shift occurs. The practice is no longer something you do. It is something you are. The axis becomes so familiar that you can feel its subtle hum beneath the surface of all your activities. You sense instantly when you are pulled out of alignment by a stressful thought or external event, and the return to center becomes automatic, as natural as correcting your balance. A deep and unshakable confidence takes root within you, a confidence born not of ego, but of a deep cellular knowing. You are no longer hoping this works. You feel it working. You are living the proof. You begin to move through your world not as a supplicant pleading with fate, but as a conscious creator, your inner axis a silent, unwavering compass guiding your energy. The world outside, in its perfect, reflective wisdom, has no choice but to organize itself around this new, clear, and powerful signal of your own integrated presence. You stand now at a new vantage point, a sacred plateau reached not by climbing, but by grounding. Feel this. You are no longer a fragmented being, pleading with a distant universe. You have become the portal. Your own body, this magnificent instrument of flesh and bone, is the living bridge between the world of form and the energy of pure potential. The ancient axis within you is awake. The raw, instinctual power of the sacrum, the magnetic song of the heart, and the clear vision of the pineal gland are no longer three separate notes, but one resonant, powerful chord. This is the frequency of wholeness. This is the profound shift from a passive wisher to a sovereign creator. The endless striving has fallen away, replaced by the quiet, undeniable authority of your own coherence. You are no longer trying to change the mirror. You have changed the self that is being reflected. Your entire energy field, once a chaotic broadcast of conflicting desires and hidden fears, is now a clean, stable, and unmistakable signal. And reality, in its perfect and unfailing law, must now organize itself around this new vibration. The world you experience is, and has always been, a perfect echo of the world you are. This truth, once understood, changes everything. This is the secret that has been sleeping in your very cells, the power you have been seeking outside of yourself. Carry this knowledge not as a fragile idea in your mind, but as a living, breathing reality in your body. You have unlocked the most profound and direct path to creation. To anchor this profound awakening, to ensure this new frequency becomes your dominant state, there are a few final, vital steps. These are not mere actions in the digital world. They are energetic declarations. If this transmission has ignited a spark of recognition within you, add your energy to this growing field with an affirmation of support. To continue this journey and receive deeper insights that will illuminate your path, make a conscious choice to stay connected to this current. And to ensure a signal can always find you, calling you back to this practice and this presence, activate the channel for continued connection. You are not on this path alone. Share this awakening with others who are ready to remember their own power, for as you help illuminate their path, your own becomes brighter. The next phase of this exploration, the next layer of this great work, is ready for you. When you feel the call, click to continue the journey deeper into the art of conscious creation. Finally, there is a powerful act of sealing this transformation. Go to the space provided below and, as a declaration to yourself and to the universe, write these words: "My inner axis is alive and in coherence." As you type them, feel the truth of them vibrating through your entire being. This is more than a comment. It is a spell, a conscious command that anchors your new vibration into the material world. As you do, feel the surge of connection. You are joining a global community of seekers and creators, each one making the same powerful declaration. You are one voice in a chorus that is changing the frequency of the planet. This is the moment your personal practice becomes a collective force. Feel this strength, this shared resolve. It is real, it is powerful, and it is yours to embody from this moment forward.